Good morning, everyone. I know times have been crazy right now, so let's play a little game about the Oregon Trail. Fun little game from the Oregon Trail. Hopefully you guys enjoy this, something more enjoyable to do. So we all know the Oregon Trail is the main route going from the civilized land, St. Louis, to Oregon. This was the northern route, and it had a lot of dangers. So what we're going to do is, if you want to join in and play this game, you just go to the website, and you're going to keep track of your own points with no cheating. I'll give you about 10 seconds for each answer. After I go through them all, you need to tally your points, and you need to email me your total points. Hopefully we get back to school before the end of the year, and the winners, I'll bring in some surprises for you guys. So let's go through. Let's see how you guys do with this. See if you enjoy it. Just let me know if you enjoy this game, if it's something that you didn't like at all. So the Oregon Trail simulation. It's kind of like the card game, only it's a live simulation. So you guys are all going to be pioneers who want to settle in the new land known as Oregon Territory. Pioneers are the travelers who traveled from Missouri to Oregon, and they were known as the Trailblazers. For all my basketball kids out there, that's why Portland is the Trailblazers. It's because of this trail. Oregon Trail, 2,000 miles long. It went from St. Louis, Missouri to Oregon, and there was a lot of travel difficulties there. We had travel difficulties such as the terrain, supplies were hard. You had to pick what you took, diseases and illnesses, and attacks from Native Americans. So to take a look at what the route was, I know you can't see it. It started here in St. Louis and traveled all the way through Fort Kearny, Fort Laramie. Independence Rock was a big stopping point. You could go down to Fort Bridger to resupply. This is the South Pass through the beginning of the Rocky Mountains. Fort Hall, Fort Boise. You guys can probably guess that's Boise, Idaho. And all the way up into the Willamette Valley, which was a big farming land in Oregon Territory. Your name is Alex P. Keaton. See if any of you guys recognize who that is. You're a factory worker from Baltimore, Maryland, and you've saved up enough money, $100, to travel to the Oregon country and take your entire family with you. You know that 1 out of every 10 people die on the Oregon Trail. This was actual facts. But you want to travel it anyway with your family. You desire to own your own land. So your adventure is going to begin in Independence, Missouri instead of St. Louis. You have brought wagons and you are ready to travel west. Your goal is to reach Oregon Trail or reach Oregon before winter. If you get caught in the mountains during winter, you don't make it through. So this is the travel power. This was what was called a schooner. They were like the sailboats of the West because of their giant tarps. These were the most durable wagons. You could store the most on it. Most of the time, there may have been one person driving, but most people walked. Let me go back real quick. Believe it or not, a lot of times they would have tarps under here, and kids would walk and pick up what was called buffalo chips, which was basically buffalo poop. The Great Plains, you can see from the picture here, was flat. There wasn't anything there. No trees, no firewood. Buffalo chips were dried out buffalo poop, mostly grass that would light. And that's what they would have fires with. So they would pick them up as they walked and put them in this tarp underneath the wagon. So first things first, you need an animal to pull your covered wagon. You have 10 seconds. What do you choose? Horses, oxen, or mules? Hopefully, most of you picked oxen. If you picked horses, they are faster, but they would die of starvation most of the time, unless you gave them your food. So if you picked horses, you are -5 points. Oxen is the big one. Although they're slower, these are the least expensive and they survive no matter what. They can eat anything. So you got +5 for the oxen. And if you chose mules, they are faster than oxen, but they're very stubborn, and you lose time trying to get them to move. So even though they're faster, they're actually slower because of the stubbornness. So mules, you got 3 points, oxen, 5, and if you picked horses, you got -5. In the wagon, you obviously have limited room, so you have to be smart with what you pick. So we're going to decide what we're taking on this trip. As you pack your covered wagon, you realize you have too much stuff. You realize that you have to choose which you're going to leave behind. You can leave behind a can of coffee, a frying pan, or your personal Bible. Go ahead and choose which one you're going to leave behind now. Choice made. So coffee isn't necessary, but it was a good bargaining item. People would trade coffee for other foods or services. I know I couldn't live without my coffee, so I would have to take it. And that's +4 points. Choice B, if you left behind your frying pan, you need this for cooking unless you want to put all your foods on a stick to cook it. So you got +2 points if you left it behind. And then most travelers on the Oregon Trail decided not to travel on Sundays. Instead, they would hold worship services and rest. If you didn't, you would run across other travelers and they would call you bad names and heathens and throw things at you. So if you left your Bible, that's -3 points. Mountain Men, your travel guide. Very important to have a guide who's been through the route before to lead you the proper route and try to avoid as many natives and dangerous situations as possible. So a mountain man who has been traveling the Oregon Trail before is offered to be your travel guide for a small fee of $45 of your $100. What do? Do you hire him and pay $45? Do you hire him and only pay him $25 now and $20 when you arrive in Oregon County or country? Or do you tell him thanks, but no thanks? Remember, guys, you can't go over your $100 spending limit, so be smart. Take your time and choose now. If you picked A, paying the $45 up front, with his expertise and knowledge, you will most likely travel quicker and safer, except you didn't realize he'll leave with the money halfway through and leave you stranded. So you do get +2 points for choosing right, but only 2 because he's going to bail on you. Choice B, same as choice A, but he'll go all the way so he gets paid all his money. So that's +5 points. That's the best choice. And then being from the East Coast, you are what many would call a city boy, and your lack of knowledge would slow you down. That is -5 points. You have to have the guide. Come to the first place, Kansas River Branch. You approach the Kansas River. The river's 200 yards wide with often rapid and deep currents. What are you going to do next? Remember, you got to keep track of your money. You can pay $10 of your total $100 to have a ferry cross you over the river. You could try to cross it yourself to save the money, or you can go along the river and find a better crossing spot. Choose wisely. All right, let's see what you picked. If you chose choice A, you reach the other side safely, but you have less money. That's +5 points. If you try to cross it yourself without a ferry, one of your children falls off the wagon, is swept away by the current, and drowns. Go figure, someone dies, right? That's -5 points. And choice C, you eventually find an easier crossing path, but you lost a couple of days. However, nobody dies. That is +2. Time is very important. Now you're coming to Ash Hollow Valley. Very beautiful, but it's right at the beginning of the mountains. This is the first steep downward slope you come across. You have very important choices here because wagons don't have brakes very well. Your first choice is you load everybody up on the wagon and ride down holding tight. Allow the oxen to catch up behind you. The second choice, avoid the downward slope by traveling around the hollow valley. And the third choice, detach the oxen and tie them up. Use rope to slowly lower the wagon down the slope. Time is valuable. Choose wisely. Let's take a look and see what you chose. Choice A, are you kidding me? You're all going to die. But for the sake of the game, we'll say you're all badly hurt and you only lose 5 points. The second choice, the safe way keeps everyone alive, but you lose 2 weeks' time traveling the long way around the valley, minus 2 points. The third choice is the smart choice. It takes a lot of work, but it is the best approach to traveling down the slope. It's plus 5 points. You literally unhook the oxen, you tie rope to your wagon, wrap it around a boulder or a tree, and slowly lower it down. Hard, back-breaking work, but you're not going to lose as much time. That's plus 5 points. We're now at Scotts Bluff. Scotts Bluff, as you reach the Platte River, you pass a high cliff. You stop for the night, but there's no wood to burn. What are you going to do? I talked to you about this. You should know. Choice A, force the children to pick up buffalo chips or buffalo poop to burn for fire. You decide you do not need a fire tonight and go without firewood. Or choice C, because burning poop is gross, you take a few planks off of the wagon and burn some of them and some of your extra clothes for a fire. I'm going to give you a couple seconds for this one. Let's see what you pick. All right, let's move on. Choice A is by far the right choice. Surprise, people actually did this on the Oregon Trail. It burned well. It's mostly grass and it's dry. Did not make a bad smell. Who knew? That's plus 5. Choice B, though nobody died from lack of fire, your grandmother caught pneumonia from the cold, and she's hacking everywhere. That's minus 3. And choice C, bad idea. Your wagon is now missing, and you're losing clothes, and your wife is really mad at you. That is minus 5 points. I'll give you a second. Make sure you get your points written down. Next stop is Independence Rock. This is the halfway point of the place. They call it Independence Rock because you needed to be there by July 4th. It's the 4th of July, and many other travelers have stopped at a huge rock that looks like a giant whale. What are you going to do? A, keep going. You want to get ahead of everyone else and get there sooner. B, stop and join the celebration for the day. Or C, stop and join the celebration for a week. What's your option here? What are you going to do? Remember, if you need more time, you can always pause these. All right, let's take a look. Because you chose A, your entire family becomes mad at you and forces you to turn around, and you lose more time having to backtrack. You lose 2 points. Choice B, stopping for the day, happy, having patriotic singing, dancing, and picnic. Plus, you did not stay too long. That's a bonus 5 points. And choice C, staying a week. It was fun, but you stayed too long. Your brother became drunken and picked a fight with a guy twice his size. Bad idea. He is badly hurt and cannot help steer the animals. Just lost 5 points. So choice A, you lost 2. Choice B, you gained 5. And choice C, you lost 5 points. Now you're at the Sweetwater River. Very pretty. You camp near the river because it's a lush area with good water and grass for the animals. However, in the evening, Native Americans attack. What are you going to do? Are you going to send out one person to try and make peace? Are you going to fight back? Or are you going to circle the wagons together and get in the middle of them? Choices, choices. If you chose A, sending somebody out, your grandfather was killed immediately with a tomahawk trying to make peace. Unprepared for battle, 5 other people died. You just lost 5 points. Choice B, you successfully killed 6 natives before they left. However, it came at a cost. Your oldest brother died. Excuse me. Your oldest son and brother died in the battle. Minus 3 points. And then choice C, you protected yourself, but one of the wagons caught on fire, and one person died before the natives left. That's minus 1 point. No good decision. All of them lost points. Did you minimize your losses? Get your points written down. We're now at the South Pass. This is your entrance into the mountains. As you cross the Continental Divide, your brother-in-law is suddenly ill. You believe he may have the cholera illness. What do you do? Take the short detour to Fort Bridger, where they may be able to help him. You remember the map I showed you earlier where you could duck down to Fort Bridger. Do you leave him on the side of the trail to die? You don't want anybody else to get sick. Or do you stop and wait for him to get better or die of the illness? What choice are you going to go here? This is a hard one. Get your answers finalized. All right, let's see what we do. If you went to Fort Bridger, there is no cure for cholera. He not only dies, but 2 of your cousins get sick and die too. You just lost 5 points. Unfortunately, leaving your brother-in-law on the side of the trail to die is the best option. Nobody else gets sick. You don't lose any time. You probably didn't suffer for long, plus 5 points. Unfortunately, it's kind of like social isolation right now. You got to avoid the sickness. And then the third option, you waited. He died the next day. But as you waited, looters robbed your campsite at night and stole some food and supplies. That's minus 3 points. So if you chose A, trying to go to Fort Bridger, you lost 5. If you tried to wait and see, you lost 3. And if you left him at the side of the road, as cruel as it may seem, that's the best choice for plus 5. Points down. We're now at Fort Hall. Although it isn't the nicest fort you've stopped at, it does sell fresh vegetables, which you've not had since the trip began. However, buffalo are also near. What do? Do you spend $10 to buy enough food for a week? Do you hunt the buffalo that are near the fort? Or do you buy vegetables and hunt the buffalo? What choices? Choice is final, A, B, or C. If you chose A, you bought enough food for a week until you reach another outpost or hunting ground. You're plus 5 points. If you chose B, hunting buffalo, you now have plenty of food, but can only eat it at night. Otherwise, the meat goes bad and you get sick, plus 3. Choice C seems like the smartest, buying vegetables and doing buffalo. But it isn't. It does take a while to do both, and turns out you don't have enough room to carry everything. Choice C is actually minus 3 points. So choice A, buying the vegetables, is plus 5. Going out and hunting the buffalo is plus 3 because the meat goes bad. Choice C, doing both, you lose 3 points. I'm sorry. I can't see below there. Choice C is plus 1. It is plus 1. Points totaled. Hopefully you corrected it. My bad. We're now at Grande Ronde Valley. Grande Ronde Valley. As you're getting closer, you come across a beautiful, lush valley with berries everywhere. What do? Forget the berries and keep traveling? Slow down to have the children pick berries, but don't stop in the valley? Or stop and spend several days picking your fruit? Hopefully you're going to get a feel for what to do here. So get your choice written down. A, forget the berries, keep traveling. B, slow down and have the children pick the berries, but don't stop. Or C, spend several days. Choices in. Choice A, not needing any berries. You don't need to waste any time. You get plus 5. Choice B, the children did not know poison berries from healthy ones. Because you were in a rush to keep going, many of your family are sick. Your great aunt Ethel even dies, minus 3 points. And then choice C, because the adults were able to help and know the difference between the good and the bad berries. The berries and rest were enjoyable, but you lost time and were caught in a storm without the protection in the valley. You got plus 3 points for that. So no berries is plus 5. Having the children pick as you walked is minus 3. And the rest was plus 3. We're now at Barlow Road, Ravine. I'm not sure, I can't see around my picture. Barlow Road. You can use the road through the valley, but you pay another $5 toll, or you're going to pay a boatman $10 and raft down the Columbia River. So this area, you got to take a quick look at your money too. So choice A, take the Barlow Road, toll road into the valley. You're going to pay $5 for the road. Choice B, you're going to raft down the Columbia River, which is another $10. Or C, you're going to sneak onto the toll road at night without paying the fee, saving your money. What option are we going to do here? A, B, or C? Choice A, the road turns out to be dangerous and plunges down cliffs. You slow your wagon by wrapping rope around trees to gently guide it down the road. That's +3. Columbia River, this turns out to be a quick route, but one of your daughters is bitten by a poisonous water snake and soon dies. +2. And then the third choice, not a good idea. The toll collectors catch you and attempt to hang you. You survive them, but have to pay double. So if you chose C, you're now paying $10 to use the road, and you have to leave them one of your oxen. That is -5. Not good to try this cheat. Points down. We're now in the Willamette Valley. You made it to Oregon. Congratulations, even though you've lost a lot of people. You've reached your destination in the Oregon Territory, and it's as beautiful as you've heard. What are you going to do next? You're going to A, continue traveling south to California. Lots of people did that. B, you're going to build a house and farm or try to start a business. Or C, you're going to travel back east and work as the trail guide along the Oregon Trail. What choice you going to do, guys? A, unfortunately, California is still ruled by Spain. The angry Spaniards chase you off their land back to Oregon. You just lost 5 points. Choice B, good idea. This is what most people did because we own the Oregon Trail at this point, the Oregon Territory. It's +5. And C, a select few would choose this since they increase their chances of dying by going back and forth. You did get +3. These are the people that like to travel, though, attachments. So +3 for C. Good idea. Staying in Oregon, that's +5. And gone to California is -5. Total up all of your points. Send them to me. And hopefully we get back and I can buy you stuff. Have a good day, guys.